The Demise SMP is one of the most well-known SMPs out there, along with others like the Awaken SMP and the Lifesteal SMP. This SMP is known for its twist, the twist being that when you die, you lose a heart, and when you kill a player, you gain one. Pretty similar to the Lifesteal SMP, right? Well, what makes this SMP different is that you can't craft hearts, and there are overpowered enchants like Protection 5 and Sharpness 6. With this twist, it's easy to see how it blew up on YouTube, and it certainly seemed like it was an exciting SMP all the way to the end. Wait, it ended? Yeah, due to some problems, it ended. If you're wondering what happened, stick around, because I'll talk about that later in the video. But this video isn't about the drama, it's about the lore of the SMP. And in this video, I will be explaining the lore of both seasons through the eyes of the owner. Timestamps will be provided for the arrows of conflict between the members in Season 1 and in Season 2. With them, I will only explain the lore in the aftermath. I'm not explaining the lore of the members because just look at how many members there were in the Demise SMP compared to the Awaken SMP. Yeah, that's a lot. To make it easier for me, I'll be doing it my way, and have it explained through the owner's perspective. Now, without further ado, I present to you the lore of the Demise SMP. The owner of the SMP, Infamous JJ, had 6,000 subscribers when he started it. This SMP thing was not new to him, as he had already been on one before. But after he was done with it, he went on to make his own, and that's where it all began. On launch day, there were 7 people: Tommyinnit, Infamous JJ, Literally Lucas, Major X, Mr. LSB, Only a Squid, and Maksis. They all split up, going away to do their own thing, with some of them becoming a team. One of these teams that we're going to focus on for this conflict was made up of 2 people, Infamous JJ and his best friend Literally Lucas. They worked together, helping each other get stacked, and along the way, JJ came across another player. This player, Tommyinnit, wanted to form an alliance with JJ, but JJ's offer was a little too much for him, as he requested a heart, and Tommyinnit didn't want to give him that. But after a little pressure, Tommyinnit gave it up. With another heart, JJ moved on to build his first base in the village. Around that time, another member, Maksis, contacted him and told him to meet her at spawn. JJ and Lucas, seeing this as a perfect way to get some hearts, met up with her to make a friendly bargain.
So, do we trade, or because they both brought 3 diamond blocks? Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's pretty good. So wait,
yeah, I guess.
well, we have a location for a pillager outpost.
Yeah.
That is nice. We could do some
Or
raids
totems,
there.
yeah.
What we could do is we could trade, like, not kind of trading, but like helping each other. You know, helping each other out. If like there is a war happening between like 2 factions, between you and like let's say Hot Chocolate or someone like that, right?
Yeah.
And you do the same for us. Hey, yo,
Okay.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if she developed trust issues after this. So, with her death came the start of the infamous Maksis conflict. Even after killing Maksis, JJ and Lucas still didn't think they did enough damage, so they searched around Maxis' base until they found it and also found her. After being found, she used an escape route to avoid dying, and successfully escaped. A little while later, they would be back, only to notice that Maksis was stronger than them. As confusing as this was for JJ, he would soon be distracted with the announcement of a new member joining the server. This member, Moto, was attacked on sight and killed by JJ, even though he was on their side. With another heart, JJ still wasn't done, as he saw another new member that was also at spawn. This member was on Maxis' side, which meant that trying to kill them might result in a fight between him and Maksis. Knowing this, he still attacked them, which started a 2v1 between JJ, Lucas, and Maksis. They chased her all the way to a swamp, where she surrendered and offered to give them some stuff so they wouldn't kill her. After getting it, JJ remarked that it wasn't enough, and chased her down again. But before they can re-engage in combat, Maksis logged off the server. She kept locking on and off to avoid dying, but ended up being killed anyway. They were nice enough to give her back her armor, but this just wouldn't cut it. A while later, Moto teamed up with Maksis, and after hearing about this, JJ tricked him into giving out his base coordinates. Squid, hearing that JJ knew the coordinates, asked if he could come with him, and he accepted. With JJ coming to the base first to start a bit of trouble, Moto was worried. When Squid arrived, they both gave Moto 2 options: give them each 1 heart or be killed. Moto, not wanting to face the latter, reluctantly chose the first option, offering up his hearts. After this, he tried ambushing JJ, but that didn't work out so well, and he just lost another heart. He got it back after giving him a totem, but then got bullied some more. A while after this, JJ moved his attention over to Squid, who griefed his base after they raided Moto's. JJ did not like this one bit, and approached Squid with the intention to fight him. This segues into our next conflict, the infamous Squid conflict. In order to understand how JJ and Squid became enemies, we need to get a better understanding of how they got to this point. Now, I've already explained JJ's perspective, but I haven't explained Squid's. So, to put it short, Squid started out alone, using a swamp method to get diamonds and be more stacked. When JJ saw that Squid got diamonds, he confronted him to trade, but it didn't work out so well. Moving on from that, Squid became allies with Hot Chocolate, and they both got stacked together. Unlike JJ, Squid was more focused on being the most stacked instead of causing trouble. Around this time, JJ tricked Moto into giving out his base coordinates, which led Squid to his base. And as you you've heard, they took hearts from him and basically bullied him. After this boost, Squid continued getting more stacked. Along the way, he met up with Maksis, and they talked about how much they disliked JJ and his team. Maksis, trusting Squid, gave him a screenshot that would direct him towards JJ's base, and also traded with him for hearts. At least, she tried to, but Squid was being kinda sketchy. So thinking quickly, she had Moto teleport her away before Squid could trap her. Squid was upset, but continued his quest to find JJ's base. He met up with JJ's teammate, Demise, who told him that he knew where his secret base was, and that he also wanted to switch teams. Squid, thinking that this was a really good opportunity, traveled with him, but started noticing some red flags along the way. And his suspicions turned out to be correct, as Demise was just trying to raid his team. After this, Squid chose a different path, and finally found JJ's base. Feeling excited, he griefed every single part of it while JJ wasn't there, and when JJ got back, he was angry. That's when he set up a fight with Squid, and they battled it out until JJ retreated, making Squid the winner. This victory would be a short one, as it's revealed that in one of Hot Chocolate's videos, he accidentally leaked their base coordinates, and JJ saw it, and then raided their base. This meant that while Squid was building their new base, they lost their items from their previous base and would have to start fresh. But while Squid was worrying about that, JJ was teaming on Hot Chocolate with Lucas, dueling and killing him multiple times. Around that time was the day of recruitment, where 4 new members joined: Tazzo, Reddish, Nigh Unwanted, and Sir Swagalicious. JJ saw this as an opportunity to get free hearts, while Squid wanted to stop him from killing them. This meant trouble, as they both eventually ran into each other at spawn, which started a 4v1 between JJ's team and Squid by himself. This battle was already not looking good for Squid, as there were no teammates on who could help him or even get to him that fast. But with pure will, Squid battled on, from night to day, until eventually it started raining. Using his trident, Squid escaped. He returned to his bunker and relaxed a bit before going out again, only to see that JJ had followed him there. He tried confronting him, but to no avail. After going back to the bunker, he found out that Maksis was there, stealing his stuff. So Squid confronted her and got her into a 1v1, which turned into a 2v1 because JJ appeared out of nowhere and joined in. Squid immediately noped out of there and went over to the tower, ambushing them where they least expected it. This ambush, however, did not result in a win, as he decided to retreat, claiming that he would be back. And he would. The SMP's biggest war would happen after Squid made allies with the other members in order to go against JJ. This war would take place in the end, having a grace period where they all worked in unison to kill the dragon. After the dragon was dead, they all started fighting over the dragon egg, and then that fight transitioned into the war. This was an all-around battle, with Squid targeting JJ, JJ targeting Squid, Hot Chocolate targeting JJ, and the rest helping. A little while into the battle, 2 of JJ's teammates left the end, shortening their number. This benefited Squid, as he could now focus more on attacking JJ, and JJ could do the same in return. The end of the war resulted in Squid and his team winning. JJ felt bad about losing, but still had confidence that he would win the next war. For now, he would focus on getting more stacked, until Maksis told him that their base was griefed. The griefer being his own teammate, Demise. This upset JJ, so much to the point that he set up a peace meeting with his enemies because he knew he had to do something or else it would get even worse. After setting up a meeting place at spawn, he had them come to him. Squid and his teammates were expecting an ambush, or 2 ambush, only to find out that it was just him. After seeing no threat, they all started talking about the losses they've all suffered, and Hot Chocolate offered peace with JJ. He accepts, but says that he wants to have a rematch with Squid to settle things. JJ also told his team that he was done with Demise, which Hot Chocolate responded by saying Maksis was a problem as well. After acknowledging that, Squid gives his 2 cents, saying that the new members JJ killed are on their side. JJ, realizing how unfair it was for him to kill them, gives them their hearts back. With the conclusion of the meeting, they all came up with one rule: to never spawn kill ever again. This ended in peace, as JJ formed an alliance with Hot Chocolate and Squid, the 2 people that he had the most beef with. Now, although he squashed the beef with these 2, that doesn't mean he squashed it with everyone, because as this next conflict title suggests, he was planning to wreak havoc. JJ's next plan was to start the most chaotic war the server had ever seen. Using the place they had their peace meeting in, he set up a trap where he would make everyone think that they were the only ones trusted by him. Then, after tricking them into thinking that, he would have them target another person who also thought they were the only one he trusted, starting chaos as everyone tried to assassinate each other. He told Hot Chocolate and Squid about his plan, wanting them to team up with him and help him, and both of them accepted. With them, they formed a team which they would call the 3. And with that, he gathered everyone at the arena and activated the trap. This event caused mass confusion among everyone, quickly breaking out into a war. Everyone who was not a part of the 3 crumbled, as they were massacred by them. With the conclusion of the war, they were very successful, with lots of loot and hearts to spare. Although this was good for them, this meant that everyone on the server could join up together to take them down. In order to prevent that from happening, the 3 set out to find everyone's bases. JJ found an entrance to one after finding a suspiciously shaped hole and digging through it. With that base found, they were sure that they could find more. So they continued looking around for bases to conquer, when randomly, Maksis asked them to come to spawn. When they did, Maksis led them to a special place with Demise. Obviously, it was a trap. Squid, predicting it, pearled down and started attacking. attacking them. That's when he noticed that everyone was there, waiting to ambush him, Hot Chocolate, and JJ. This was dangerous, because now it was a 3v everybody. Squid, thinking fast, summoned a couple of withers to stir things up. A little while after that, the fight transitioned up onto the surface, where they continued until the three eventually won. This win proved that JJ's power team was unstoppable. With that victory, JJ set out to get revenge on Maksis, the leader who organized the ambush. He wanted to build a maze in which he would trap Maksis in. After getting the necessary materials, he started building it. He would only put it on hold after hearing that Diony's birthday was coming up. JJ wanted to prank him by building a giant Among Us statue in front of his base.
Yeah.
After the very wholesome party, JJ moved on to finish the trap with the help of Squid. His first victim would be Maksis, who was streaming at the time that he wanted her to come to the trap. Yeah, at some point Maksis streamed the SMP. Keep this in mind, as it will be referenced in the aftermath. Moving on, JJ also trapped Sharkkills and Sprite in the maze, and they both ended up being killed by him and Maksis. This made them angry, giving them a reason to start some trouble in the next season. And that is the conclusion to Season 1 of the Demise SMP. The second season begins with a fresh new seed and a lot more members, which also means more lore. And as you'll see, this season is a lot more interesting than the first. Let's begin with the season's first conflict, the infamous LSB conflict. For Season 2, the server had a different twist. This twist was 5 lives. This meant that you only had 5 lives, and if you lost all 5 lives, you would be permanently banned off of the server. With that in mind, when the server launched, it was packed with YouTubers that were eager to get a move on. These YouTubers were Wenzo, AG the Bold, Dabby Cat, Hot Chocolate, Infamous JJ, Kofu, Kiwi Niddick, literally Lucas, Lucas Tabani, Mr. LSB, Diony, Pixelated, Unwanted, Squid, Sharkkills, and Tazo. With a 24-hour grace period, these members were able to team up and get stacked with no distractions. JJ, once again, teamed up with his friend Lucas, and while they were getting stacked, he noticed that Mr. LSB had gotten diamonds first. This worried him, as he knew that LSB was planning to ambush him, so he grinded quickly and got full diamond. After that, he found a village and made it his first base. With that, he and Lucas got off for the night. And the next day, JJ was messaged by another member named Luna. She wanted to join their team, and JJ accepted her without hesitation, claiming that she was very good at grinding and would be a useful asset to his team. With her in the team, the group got more stacked, and JJ was feeling ready for LSB's ambush on him. A little while after JJ's visit to the end, LSB contacted him, telling him to come to spawn for a business deal.
Why'd you want to meet me?
As you may know, there's something called a life, right? That's like a life thing. And I was gonna offer it for some basic coordinates, you know?
Is that really like a worse deal?
Oh no, is that Undertale Last Breath music? Listen, whenever you hear that music in a Minecraft video, you know things aren't going to end well. And as expected, LSB started attacking JJ, but JJ was unimpressed, as he had already been through this like 1,000 times by now. So, showing no interest, he kills off Lucas and then goes straight for LSB. After killing him, he remarked how this would start a bigger conflict, and he would be right, as JJ now had a new challenge to face, and that would be his own teammates' betrayal. Luna was hosting a Christmas party on the SMP and invited several members to it, JJ being one of them. It was all going fine, but there were some suspicions among the group who attended. These suspicions would be confirmed, as Luna had lit the TNT under the party house and it resulted in chaos. As the barrage of TNT hit everyone around every corner, JJ was confused, wondering what happened. He would soon realize who the traitor was, as Luna's name popped up in chat. JJ was angry and wanted to get revenge. He would start by getting what he needed to make his trap, but in order to do that, he would have to use the creeper farm Luna used, and that was all the way back at his old base. So, sneaking around his enemies, he was able to get some of the gunpowder. With that, he had his teammate Lucas get the materials to make the trap, and with the help of Luna's teammate Wenzo, he found LSB's base and would start building it there. With the help of Wenzo, this trap was a success, as it worked and caused mass destruction. After locating his enemies, he began fighting them, 1v1ing until he eventually ran into a 3v2. JJ managed to stay alive using his PvP skills, and killed Luke, making LSB and Pixelated run for their lives. Once again, JJ was the victor, only at the cost of them wanting to get revenge. This started the second part of the infamous LSB conflict, which would ultimately be JJ's last conflict. In order to make sure he would get his revenge, LSB teamed up with Diony to help him kill JJ. JJ, after hearing about this, came up with a counter trap. This trap would involve his enemies being trapped in the void, and that would require a lot of TNT, which he didn't have. He couldn't go back to the gunpowder farm because after he showed it in his video, it got ravaged. So his last option was asking his traitor teammate Luna for some. She was reluctant at first, but eventually gave him some. And with that, he finished making the trap. After that, he lured LSB and Luke to it, and then activated it. LSB fell and didn't land on the boat, instantly dying from the void. Luke, on the other hand, landed on the boat, avoiding death, death from the void. With him as the only survivor, JJ threatened him and told him to give him the coordinates to his and Diony's base, or he would have the same fate as LSB. Luke obliged, which satisfied JJ as he now knew where Diony was. Once he arrived at their base, he ambushed Diony and his other teammate. JJ got low several times, but still managed to turn into a 1v1. After doing that, he cornered Diony and killed him. After this successful ambush, JJ was messaged by Pixelated, another enemy of his, and he told him to come to his old base. JJ comes over, only to see that his base was being destroyed by this very familiar looking TNT trap. With that, the summoning of Withers and his other enemies joining in, JJ was trapped. When he heard that Squid was the one that had planned this, he wanted to get revenge. But as this is the last video on the playlist, you could tell that something went wrong because there didn't seem to be any closure. The only thing there is his next video, where it seemed like he was on the Demise SMP, but it was actually a different one, as he himself states that it wasn't made on it. So if that's the case, then that leaves one big question in all of our heads. What happened? I want to give a quick shout out to Top Ranker because he got me into contact with infamous JJ himself so I could do a quick interview with him. If it wasn't for him, this section of the video wouldn't be possible. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description so you can go check him out if you want to. Now, when I asked JJ why the SMP ended, he told me that the main reason it ended was because it got boring. According to him, content on the SMP got stale, so because of that, people left. This explains what happened to most of the members, such as Diony, Kofu, and even JJ himself. They all moved on to other SMPs, leaving the Demise SMP behind, and they didn't announce it officially until a really long time after it did end. And even with that, some of the members just became inactive or just stopped content entirely. Members like Mr. LSB and Pixel Maksis seem like they completely disappeared when it ended, but it turns out that it's a whole different story. Mr. LSB, according to JJ, is still around, but just doesn't do much content anymore. Pixel Maksis, on the other hand, has a different story. You see, while I was watching the entirety of the Demise SMP from JJ's perspective, I noticed something weird. In Season 1, Pixel Maksis is there, but in Season 2, she isn't. Instead, a newer member named Luna appeared. The more I watched, the more I noticed that Luna seemed similar to Maksis. That's when I started to do some research and found some background information about Maksis. So Maksis was close friends with JJ and Moto, as shown in this real life vlog on JJ's channel. This is JJ, this is Moto, and this is Maksis. The reason I'm talking about this is because Luna is also close friends with JJ. I know this because she has her own website where it shows that she only edits for him. Going on to the contact me section of the website shows us that she is currently not taking commissions, which is kind of weird, but taking into account that editing for more than one person may take a toll on her mental health and the possibility that she could be Maksis, it makes sense. If you look at Luna's channel, you don't see any videos on it, and there's a reason for that. Because of her personal problems, Luna hadn't been able to make any content, and eventually she just quit the Minecraft community altogether and removed her videos, which makes sense since Maksis removed her content as well when she had a channel. From search results in NameMC to Twitch streams, you could see that Maksis had slowly transformed into Luna. It's even been confirmed by JJ himself when I asked him. So yeah, with the end of the SMP, everybody pretty much moved on from it to go do their own thing, and one even built a different personality to get away from it. It's unfortunate to know how it ended, but it's a reminder that all of this doesn't last forever. But it was good while it lasted, and I think we should all appreciate it for at least that. Now, at the time I'm writing the script, a new SMP has been announced by JJ. The name of the SMP is the Infuse SMP. It's looking good so far, and has potential for its own video, but for now, we just have to wait and see what it brings. And with that, I've explained the entire lore of the Demise SMP through the perspective of the owner. If you like this video and want to see more, let me know. If I made any mistakes or missed anything, let me know that as well. I made this video for anyone who wanted to know what the SMP was about, and for people who wanted a quick summary. Also, thank you all so much for the support on my first video. I really appreciate it. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. And if you have any suggestions for the next SMP, join my new Discord server and give me some ideas. Alright, thanks for watching, and have a good day.